Unfortunately, there will always be encounters with rude and mean people in the world. Although you might not always know why someone is being mean to you, at least you will know how to react to these people after listening to this video. Number 1. Realize that being mean is nothing new. Ever since the beginning of time, humans have been mean to each other. There seems to be something programmed into our brains that just makes some people rude and mean. And frankly, some people just make a habit of it. Kindness, empathy, and love are usually at the bottom of most people's to-do lists. I'm putting this realization as step 1 because it will really help you with the following steps. Number 2, stop the spiral. When someone is mean, this behavior can spread like wildfire, but only if you let it. Sometimes a person is mean and triggers an entire spiral of mean behavior by putting the other person in a bad mood, who then goes and is mean to someone else. For example, have you ever had a really mean customer at the beginning of your day who makes you so mad that you let out your frustration on your co-workers? They don't feel much better, so they go and act rude to their spouses and the spiral keeps going. Let me tell you, it doesn't have to be that way. You alone have the power to stop this vicious cycle. A little empathy and kindness go a long way here. When you find yourself in a situation where someone is being rude to you, don't internalize it. Instead, meet them with kindness and don't let their behavior influence yours in any way. Number 3, don't take it personally. I know, when someone is mean to your face for no reason, it's hard to not take it personally. Nevertheless, it's the only way to break out of this cycle and have a good day after all. The thing is, more often than not, actually most of the time, people aren't mean because of something you did, but because of their own problems. Think about it. Most kids that bully others in school are the ones with terrible home life. They are trying to distract themselves, get some revenge, even though it's directed at someone completely unrelated, or gain a sense of control by having the power to bully someone. None of these reasons have anything to do with poor Billy who got his lunch money taken away. While that obviously doesn't excuse the behaviour of mean people, it does make it a lot easier to meet their behaviour in a more understanding way. Being negative to them in return will only fuel this flame of hatred, whereas kindness can sometimes even make the mean person realise what they are doing. Number 4, kill them with kindness. Nothing startles a mean person more than when the other person reacts to their actions with kindness as opposed to more rude behaviour. Staying friendly and positive can calm the other person down and give them an incentive to match your behaviour. Simply put, kindness is the antidote to meanness. In my own experience, being kind to someone who is obviously trying to be mean to you can be extremely hard, but it does get easier with practice. Usually, they will want to follow your lead, and if not, at least you can be proud of yourself for not lowering your standards and letting a mean person trigger you. Number 5, use humour to diffuse. You probably know how tense and uncomfortable a situation can get when someone is being purposely mean to you. As I mentioned earlier, oftentimes a person is mean because of something going on in their own personal life. In that case, meeting the situation with humour can do an amazing job at breaking the tension and allowing everyone to relax. It's not always easy to find a reason to joke around in circumstances like that, but you can try to think of a story of a shared experience you had. In case you might be asking yourself why you would award their mean behaviour with humour, think about it in the long term. Do you want to spend possibly the next few minutes, hours, or depending on the situation, days, feeling tense and mad? By diffusing the situation, you allow everyone to reset and hopefully start off on a better note again. Number 6, call them out. How you choose to react to a person being mean to you for no reason is a very individual choice. In my own experience, I tend to be a kind person, trying to meet them with empathy, but if you are usually more of an outspoken person, calling them out on their behaviour might work better for you. Tell them what they are doing and ask them to stop. This tactic works especially well if the person being mean to you is not somebody you can easily avoid. Instead of dealing with this every time you see them for God knows how long, you should address the issue. Ask them if they even realise what they are doing and how that is affecting you. Believe it or not, some people are so disconnected from emotions they don't even notice how mean they are being. Step 7. Don't let the situation escalate. As humans, our first impulse to hurtful behaviour is immediate defence and counterattack. In that situation, it's useful to remember that you will never have control over anything else in this life other than your own reactions. Choose to resist your impulses and take pride in the fact that you can control yourself more than the other person who just lashed out on you for no reason. You are in charge of your own behaviour. Something that really helps in that situation is to take deep breaths. Calming your breath is the first step to calming your mind and body. Step 8. Show empathy. We kind of already talked about this a bit, but I want to emphasize this point because it's just so important. People aren't mean for no reason, but that reason is rarely you. In order to show someone empathy, you will have to understand the core issues of why they are so mean to you. You see, people go through hardships every day, and some choose to cope with that by lashing out on others. If you're on the receiving end of this, try to see if you can figure out a way to tell them that you care about what they are going through. Feeling alone can trigger lots of emotions, which is why a simple act of empathy like that can turn a person's mindset around completely. Try not to judge them for having a terrible day and letting it out on you. Instead, let them know that you feel the same sometimes, and it's okay to feel bad from time to time. Number 9. Monkey see, monkey do. Being a good role model goes a long way with showing people how mean they are acting. Don't give them the satisfaction of getting you riled up. Instead, be a good role model to them. You can show them how a good person acts by being kind, being fair to others, showing empathy to everyone, dealing with your bad days in a healthy manner, learning to cope with your emotions effectively. Number 10. Avoid them. I just showed you a lot of different ways to deal with a mean person. And if that's not enough, there is always the ultimate way out. Avoid them. In the case that you've tried everything you can to make that person aware of what you are doing, showing them empathy and kindness, but nothing works, it might be time to just walk away. You can't force anybody to change, and some people are in a place where it is impossible for them to see their own mistakes. Avoiding these kinds of people, you give them one target less to be mean to. Sometimes that's all you can really do. If more and more people walk the other way when that person comes along, it might be a wake-up call to how messed up their behaviour is. In conclusion, be the bigger person. You see, there is always an easy way out. Getting on the same level as the mean person, hitting them back with equally questionable behaviour. But do you really want that? Will that make you feel better? I can promise you it won't. Sure, in the heat of the moment, pumped up with adrenaline, you will feel like you're doing the right thing. 10 minutes later, when you've calmed down, you will realise that there was no point to it. All that will really do is fuel the fire of mean behaviour, helping it spread even more. If you truly want this situation to improve, you need to be the bigger person. Whether that means meeting them with kindness, calling them out, or walking away is up to you. Remember that this is most likely not about you at all, and you can show them your power by being in control of your reactions and not giving them the satisfaction of being provoked.